Hello, and welcome to another video here with FlyTheNoob. How is everybody doing? Today we are in Madrid in Spain, okay? We are at Barajas Airport in Madrid, and we'll be heading on over to Gibraltar. Well, is Gibraltar technically British territory? And I believe it's half and half if I'm not completely mistaken. But yeah, we're heading on over to Gibraltar from Madrid, all right? So it's going to be a very difficult approach into Madrid. Sorry, not Madrid, Gibraltar. It is said to be one of the more difficult landings. It has a short runway and it has a very interesting approach that has us taking very steep turns, which I'm not entirely sure the A330-200 can even do. So we're going to find that out. And not just that, it has a road in the middle of the runway. So the runway does temporarily shut down. So that's interesting. That is interesting. And as you know, the runway is basically built on the water. We'll have a closer look at it as we come in, obviously. Today we are flying the Inibuilds A330-200 that comes included with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And as you can see, we're flying the Iberia. What is this? Oh, we found ourselves in a cargo container. In walk-around mode, you can go through the truck. Ah, well, now I know. So yes, we're flying the Iberia A330-200. I've chosen the 200 variant in the hope that it will be easier to turn around and perform maneuvers and also stop at Gibraltar. Okay? Fair enough. I've removed all the chocks and pitot tube covers and engine covers and all that stuff. So let's go ahead inside. Let's get this aircraft started up from cold and dark. Here we are. Inside our little aircraft, right? We've got ground power unit attached to us already. If we look at that, yes, it's already here. Let's go ahead and turn on the batteries. And let's turn on the external power. Arm the emergency lights here. What else? Crew oxygen supply to on. Then we need to take care of the ADARS systems. Let's set them to nav. And passenger signs. Let's put that on automatic here. Leave the seatbelt signs on. Now, for the time being, I like to leave the overhead panel the way it is. And I can give it a few moments for these stuff to initialize. Let's go towards the dashboard here, download our sim brief plan, which is LAMD, which is Madrid Barajas. We're going to head on over to LXGB, which is Gibraltar. Okay? Very nice. Very nice. In terms of payload, we're going to take that from sim brief as well. We're carrying 12,000 kgs of fuel, 153,000 zero fuel weight. That's all right. Okay, we'll apply the load right now to help us set up the FMC. If we go to our takeoff data here, let's sync everything we need to. We shall perform the calculations as such. We'll send it to FMGS once we reach the correct page. Okay, brilliant. Brilliant. Let's go down here to the FM1. Go to init. Let's request that flight plan from SimBrief. There we go. Now the reason I loaded up our aircraft via the tablet is so that we can do this. Easily input the correct values that we need for today's flight. Okay, perfect. Now we can't do this later on into the flight because there's a bug that doesn't let you change this once we get started up. If we go to our flight plan here, come to our departure out of Madrid, where are we departing out of? Today we'll be using... What runway are we using today? Let me double check that. We are using runway 36 left for our takeoff here. So right there. We're going to be taking off using the VTB6L departure, which is right there. We'll insert that. For our arrival into Gibraltar, we'll be using runway 09, and we're going to do that using PMOS. Okay, PMOS. Insert that. Let's see if there are any flight plan discontinuities, which there should be at least one. Oh, there isn't. There isn't any. Would you look at that? Brilliant. Okay. If we come to the performance page, now here is where we go back to the tablet. We'll send this data to the FMGS. Then we'll come back down here, and you can see that the V speeds are available here. So let's input that 132 V1, 143 VR, and V2 144. Perfect. Let's look at the other data. Flex temperature of 68. We're not using flexed. We're not using any derating of thrust today, but flex temperature of 68. 5.2 up. Okay. So let's do that. 1/5.2 up. Right here. Flex temperature of 68. Right here. Transition altitude, we're going to put that as 5,000 here today. Let's leave it as 5,000 here today. Instead of 13,000, let's confirm that. Destination data, we're going to worry about this later. Full flaps landing. Landing speed of 127, approach at 132. Perfect. We've got all that set up in our FMS. That is brilliant. We can now go ahead and confirm whether what we have done here in the FMGS or MacDo or however you have it will actually work for us today. Let's see, our altimeter for the day is 1021. Okay, that is fine. Perfect. Let's switch this to plan mode, increase the range on there. Let's have a look through our flight plan. Okay. We take off out of runway 36 left, we turn back around over the airport, and on our way to Gibraltar we go. There we go, that is the approach into Gibraltar. Little curvy there, but that's all right. Perfect. Let's turn that back into nav mode there. We'll leave this guy the way he is. We'll increase the range on this display here. Oh no. Flight directives on, and as you can tell, we've got manage mode on speed and heading. Perfect. Our cruising altitude for today is supposed to be 33,000 feet according to SimBrief, and that is what I'm going with for the time being. In case we need to readjust that on our way, we'll do that, not a problem. And we've got manage mode available with the altitude as well. Very, very good. So we're all set pretty much for pushback, startup, and starting up for the engines and all that good stuff. Before we do, let's go towards GSX. Let's request refueling. And right before I do, let me come here to the tablet. The SimBrief data is right here. Now, just to make sure we don't have issues while refueling, I'm going to put down the fuel on purpose here. Apply that load, instant. It's going to give us a little warning there. That's okay. That is perfectly okay. Now we're going to request refueling. And we're going to say Iberia. So then let's request boarding as well here. Okay. Now. Oh no. I don't want to. No. Close. There we go. I don't want this window open. Although that's a cool feature here in the Inibuilds A330. I like that you can open the window. Nonetheless, here we go. We've got boarding processes started up here. If you look at that right there, we've got bright red Iberia services all around us. The boarding is waiting for the fuel truck to arrive. And there it is. It's well on its way, as you can tell. Fuel truck is on its way. So yeah, once refueling is finished, these stairs should attach and we should get started up with boarding.
And asked to do.
Our fuel truck is in position, and we can see the guy being elevated on that raised platform right there. Once he finishes attaching the fuel hose, we'll go in and request refueling. While we're here on this side, look at that. We've got the only in Madrid livery that we're using here for Iberia on today's flight. It's a lovely looking relief there. Very nice. Is that what you call a relief? I mean, it's a livery, I know, but what do you call that particular paint job? Anyway, he's attached the fuel hose there. Let's go inside. We'll get the sim brief load once again. We'll press apply load. We'll say fast in 5 minutes. Let's see. 35 seconds for our fueling to finish here. We'll let that happen, right? We'll let that happen. Our nice little Chevron truck. Let's have a look on the other side and see what cargo loading. Okay, the aft cargo loading process is nearly... Oh, never mind. I didn't see those containers. There's still pretty much 3 containers left, both aft and forward sections. So yeah, there's still going on there. We still got passenger loading to do, but we're looking good here, huh? What a beautiful looking aircraft. Fueling still going on. Once he finishes up, we should expect boarding here. Is there anything else we need to do inside for the time being? Absolutely not. We could start up the APU if we wanted to, but we're not going to do that. And this warning is going to go away on its own once we have the loading and everything done up. Okay, there we go. Fueling complete. Fuel hose is being detached. Obviously, this is an accelerated refueling here. Just taking less than just about 40-30 seconds. That's it. In real life, as per the tablet, it should take about 40 minutes, right? To finish everything up. There we go. Got the fuel truck backing away now. And the stairs going in to load our passengers. Okay, we can have a look at our passengers boarding the aircraft once the passenger bus has arrived, which is yet to happen, right? So let's wait for our passenger bus to arrive. As a matter of fact, while we wait for the passenger boarding to begin and stuff like that, let's go into drone camera here. Let's have a look at this handcrafted airport. Madrid Barajas is handcrafted in MSFS 2024. It is a beautiful airport. There's lovely, lovely buildings. Let's take a look at this one here first. There we go. We've got an Air Canada. Looking very nice. What aircraft is this? Is it a 767? Yes. Looks like a 767. Very nice. Beautiful livery. It's a cargo. We're not going to attach our pushback tug right now. Beautiful. Then we got a bunch of Iberia aircraft as expected. We've got Air Europe. We've got Air Serbia, Ryanair. Who else do we have? I don't recognize that. Malta. Right. Air Malta, I believe. Or is it Malta Air? I don't know. We've got Brussels Airlines. What else do we have? Air Baltic, KLM, and somebody in the distance there that I do not recognize. Who is that? Hello? Who is that? Who are you? Lux Air. Okay. Let's head on inside the airport here. This is the handcrafted airport, Madrid Barajas. Obviously, there aren't... It's modeled very, very basically inside. There isn't much going on, obviously. You know, there aren't any passengers, there are no signs inside, but considering it's included free, and when you're at the gate at an aircraft, from this point of view, it looks great, right? It looks pretty good. So no, not complaining there. Lovely, lovely stuff. And there is another terminal building off to where we are there as well. Should we go take a look at that? Before we do, let's see, has passenger loading begun? Ah, the bus has arrived with our passengers right there. Loading will begin now. Right? So while that starts up, Let's go back in here. I'm going to change the speed of the drone camera for a second. Just so we can zoom over to the other terminal. See if it's modeled any better. Let's have a look. Ooh, no, it's not. It's pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the same thing. Okay, pretty much the same thing. There's the control tower and all that. And here are the larger gates for the bigger aircraft. Like the one we are in right now, the A330, we should have probably parked at the gate here. But I did have an issue with the gates not working for some reason. And they were acting weird. So, I don't know. Nonetheless, let's head back to our little aircraft that we've parked right about here. Oh, what is this one? Is that an ATR? It appears to be, right? Yeah, okay, whatever. Let's come outside and have a look at our boarding process. Passengers jumping on. We're not going to use catering services today, so no need for that. There we go. Cargo loading is completed. Just waiting on passenger loading. We should ideally turn on our APU, get that running, get the bleed running, get some air running. But I'm not too bothered about that right now. As the passenger boarding nears somewhere near its end, we shall go ahead and turn on the APU. Okay? We'll turn on the APU then. Just to confirm, we do have live weather and live time going on. Complete live. Perfect. Lovely. Okay. Let's allow the passenger boarding to continue here. I just remembered, I haven't shown you the plan on little nav map yet, so let me go ahead and do that. Let's have a look at little nav map, right? Okay. So, our flight plan today, we're taking off from runway 36 left in Madrid. And we're gonna take basically a U-turn, come over the airport here, and then head on down to Gibraltar. Right here. So as you can see, the approach into Gibraltar, it's going to take us on a sweeping curve, and then we're going to turn back very, very tight, 3 nautical miles into Gibraltar. That is going to be so difficult with an A330-200. That is a difficult one today. Let's see how we actually fare. Okay, that is going to be very, very interesting. And we're going to land into runway 09 into Gibraltar, find ourselves a little parking somewhere here, hopefully. Okay, interesting. Very, very exciting flight to look forward to. And that is our data on little nav map. Okay, there it is. Thought I'd show you the little flight plan on little nav map as we wait for passenger loading. Actually, passenger loading is just about finished up here. It's just about finished up. Let me go ahead. It's time for us to head back inside and start up our APU right here. Okay, let's get that flap open or something like that. Yeah, there should be, once we press this, the flap should open up and we should have APU come into life. Once the APU is all set up, we can then go ahead and ask for disconnection of the GPU. That should get rid of the GPU right about here. Yeah, up in front we can see the GPU cart. We're gonna get rid of it very, very soon. Okay, so boarding process is complete pretty much. Since the doors are still open, we don't need to worry about anything else. Let's go ahead and request prepare for pushback and departure. 292, let's do that. Let's turn on the APU bleed here. Okay, I'll just turn the no smoking lights on here. Still waiting for APU generator and APU power to become available to us. It should happen any second now. It should happen any second. And there we go, doors have been closed and the stairs are being removed. Excellent. Marshals are coming into position for pushback. There is our pushback tug. We need to get rid of this GPU real quickly. There we go, APU available, ladies and gentlemen. Let's disconnect our ground power here. and toggle GPU off. For now, we can turn on the cabin lights halfway. Why not? Brilliant. There we go. We are getting prepared for pushback here. There's our ground handling crew going in with the pin. So that is good. Right there. It's a good view for us to enjoy pushback from. Okay, APU bleed is on, APU is on. We can turn on the fuel pumps now. So let's do that. Let's do that. I forgot that the last time until I had finished turning on the engine, so that's not good. Which way are we requesting our nose to turn? That is a good question. I have no idea. I did not look at that. I have no idea which way to ask for requesting. You know what? We're going to request that they turn us nose to the right. Okay? We're going to request nose to the right. Yeah, we're going to request nose to the right. Why not? So we're going to request that here. We'll jump back into the cockpit here. We're going to release our parking brake. That should get us moving. Does that get us moving? Yes, it does. There we go. We're moving. APU bleed on, beacon lights to on, and we can turn on our engines here. Engine number 2 to life, please. N2 rising. Brilliant. Let's go outside. Enjoy that. Enjoy the engine coming to life right there. Very good. Very, very good. The beacon lights are running, but you can barely see them. Yeah, we can barely see them right now. Okay. Engine number 2 is coming to life. Okay. Once we've got the available, we can go ahead and turn on engine number 1. There we go. Engine number 1. Start that up. Let's start up engine number 1. Okay, we're on the passenger view here, starting up engine number 1. Okay, let that happen. Okay, we need to set our parking brake. Forgot about that. There we go. Pushback should start. Lowering our nose there, and we should be disconnected momentarily. Very good. Very, very good. Okay. There we go. Engine startup completed. Let's put that ignition back to normal. Let's turn on our predictive wind shear systems as and when. APU bleed is still on. Oh, can turn that off now. We don't need it. Okay, just double checking overhead. Everything looks good. Correct. Everything looks good. Can put our taxi lights on. Okay. There we go. Bye-bye. Very good. Can turn our taxi lights on. We can ask our flaps to drop. So let's put the flaps down. There we go. Flaps coming down. for takeoff. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay. All right. We are now ready to taxi towards our takeoff runway of 36L. So let's go ahead and do that. We're pretty much ready on the lights. Strobes can be put to automatic. We are ready. Okay, so let's go ahead. Release parking brake. Gentle rolling going on here. We're going to give it a little bit of... We're just going to crack open the throttle just to allow us to taxi a little quicker here. Let's see what the passenger is seeing. Lovely. There we go, on our way. We're picking up speed here, but on our way we go. Looks beautiful. Looks absolutely beautiful. Let's head into the cockpit now. Very nice. Let's take a left turn here. Right about. Perfect. Okay, we shall continue going straight for a bit. That's what we'll do. Yep, we'll just keep going straight now. Just making sure that we don't overspeed with the taxiing, which I tend to do quite a bit if I'm being honest. So just gotta pump the brakes a little bit once in a while. Beyond that, we're all right. Beyond that, we're all right. The taxi isn't too long today, so no need to skip it in the video. I can just leave this in. Let's look at that from the other side. Ah, got some barriers there for jet blast. Is it called a jet blast? Don't know. I don't know. A lot of stuff escapes me when I try and record. Well, anyway. Here we go. Iberia. It's a good looking livery, but it's, you know, it's mostly just white. It is nonetheless, the red is striking. Let's head back in here. We need to turn to our right, and we are taxiing at about 30 knots, 26. It's a bit too high. Let's turn right. About there. There we go. Let's turn our aircraft to the right. Perfect. And we can continue our taxi on to the beginning of 36 left. We'll use the whole runway today. Auto brakes can go to max. Ground spoilers can be armed. Cabin ready. We just need to test our takeoff configuration. Okay. Everything is normal. Now, even though everything is ready, we're still going to get a takeoff inhibit sign. So I don't know how that works. I really have no idea. But it is what it is. I like the way how Airbus notifies you of things, I have to say. I have to say it is pretty cool. Okay, we need to make this turn right here. And that'll take us on to... It'll take us on to runway 36 left. Okay. Right before we do go there, let's pump on our brake there. Let us go ahead and turn on our strobe lights, turn on takeoff lights, set that up there as well, and we are pretty much ready to go. We need to turn our transponders. Let me just zoom in on that so you guys can get a better view. There, to automatic. I can't really see because of the sun, and I don't know these by heart per se. And okay, there and there. There we go. Let's do that. Perfect. Perfect. I'm leaving it on TA only, and we are pretty much ready to go here. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just making sure that we have good view so we can see our takeoff very well. There we go. Release our parking brake. Let's find ourselves slowly taxiing on to our runway of choice today. Let's see how that goes. 36L coming up. Oh, we could have stopped here. Anyway, not a problem. Not a problem. Yeah, I'm gonna give myself as much runway as possible here. We really don't need it, but still, 144 VR. I think. No, that's V2. Sorry. Okay. Lining up. Lining up. Opening up the throttles here. Okay, we're good. Toga. Takeoff inhibit sign as expected has shown up for some reason. Don't really care. We really shouldn't do this, but we'll do it anyway, just to have a look at the passenger's view, just for a second. Okay. There we go. And let's rotate gently up here, and we are up and off. Gear up. Brilliant. Perfect. Look at that. Look at that as we leave. So let me just change that so I can navigate a little easier here. Put the flaps up here, and I'm going to ask the auto throttle to take care of our speed here. Okay, come on. There we go. And let's begin our turn here. Little steep turn, rather. That's okay. Right about there. Perfect. Can actually go ahead and ask the autopilot to take over if we like. Yeah, let's do that so that we can enjoy some views here. Ground spoilers disarmed. Already past 5,000 feet. Let's change that to standard. Let's change that to standard as well. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're leaving behind Madrid Barajas. Lovely airport from the air. And we're leaving the city of Madrid as well, pretty much. Just like that. 2024 textures looking absolutely horrendous in the distance here. This below us is okay-ish, but it's looking horrendous. But anyway, up and out we go. We are climbing very, very steeply. Very, very steeply here. Just put that there for the time being so we have an idea of what's going on here. Well, we will once we turn around and head back over the airport, so we'll have a look at that too. For now, let's go towards what the passenger is seeing. Let me have a look at that. Oh gosh, give me a second here. There we go. Not too bad. Not too bad of a view at all. Let's check the other side here. We're climbing very, very steeply still. That's interesting. Okay. Hey, making a nice little turn there. Look at that view. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, so with this turn, we will go back around the airport. We'll pass directly on top of it, and we've crossed 10,000 feet. Let's turn off our landing lights. Nose lights can come off already. Everything else is looking just fine. Do we have anything else to do here? Absolutely not. We're basically just climbing to 33,000 feet. Everything in manage mode. The computer is taking care of basically everything for us. Flaps are up. Everything is the way it should be. Brilliant. Where is the airport now? The airport should be somewhere. Ah, there it is. There's the airport. We're going to be flying over it. We're going to be flying over it. Okay. Wow. It looks good from the cockpit though, I have to say. Looks good from the cockpit. Very nice. Okay, we'll have one more look at the airport as we pass over it at a very high altitude already. We should have dimmed the cabin lights all the way, huh? That's okay. That's okay. Let's update our data here. Just so we can input the correct data when we need to set the destination data when it comes to that. There it is, the airport. And I believe the runway we took off from is right there. Okay, we can actually go outside. Have a look. Right there. At the airport as we leave it behind. Look at it from this side. There it is. Okay, we did take off from right here. Yeah, we were parked here, we taxied, and we took off from that runway right there. Very nice. It's been much easier for us to park here as well by the gates, but hey, we did what we had to, right? We did what we had to. There is the airport, and we're passing right above it. Once we pass the airport, we basically got nothing else to do, just climb out to our cruising altitude. What we'll do during that time is we'll take a look at the views. I'll cycle through some good views for you guys to enjoy. And afterwards, we shall pick it up when we are nearing our top of descent into Gibraltar. Okay, so let's have that one last look at the airport as we leave it behind. Very, very nice. You can see the tower. You can see some aircrafts still parked. Very good. Okay. Very, very good. Brilliant. Look at that view. Here we go, making our turn down towards Gibraltar. Okay. And those are the polygons that I keep complaining about in MSFS 2024. Look at that. Just polygons everywhere. Just terrible texture loading. I don't know what is wrong with this thing. I hope Sim Update 3 fixes this, because this is just horrible, horrible stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen X-Plane 12 look better than this. And look at the texture resolution on those textures in the distance. I've seen X-Plane 12 look much better than this. I really have. That is just not good, man. Okay, anyway. Pretty much that's it. And I will now jump back into the cockpit when we are coming towards top of descent, or anything else to remark along the way. Other than that, let's go ahead and enjoy our views on today's flight. Okay, we are very close to our top of descent here. So there we go. We're coming up on top of descent, and we need to descend, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and do that. We've begun a managed descent. Let's turn on our seatbelt sign so nobody goes flying. Excellent. Excellent. We're a little late on that. But here we go. Top of descent. We are supposed to be at flight level 24,326 nautical miles. Yeah, we should be able to do that, right? So let's set 24,300. And let's see how it goes. Perfect. 24,000. How about that? We're going to set 24,000. Let us see how that goes. Okay. Going to increase the range on that as well. Okay, we're very, very much near our destination. Now, if I go up in front here, as you can tell, Gibraltar isn't too far away. We know that it's near the sea. It's somewhere right there. Somewhere right there will be Gibraltar. Okay, that is where we're landing into. Beautiful view here as we fly over. Very lovely looking lake there as well. If that's water. Beautiful. There's another one here as well. Very, very nice. Okay, let's head back into the cockpit here. Let's continue our descent down towards 24,000 feet, after which we've got 13,000 and 10,000 respectively. We'll just continue this descent here for now. And yeah, so when we reach closer towards 10,000 feet, I'll jump back into the cockpit once again and turn on landing lights and all that good stuff. Then we can continue flying from around 10,000 feet. So let's allow our aircraft to continue its descent down towards 10,000 feet, more or less. All right. We are looking good. Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Very well. There we are, coming up on 10,000 feet here. And we are dropping our speed. Excellent. Leading away our speed, and we're coming up on 10,000 feet. Next, we need to head down towards 8,700 more or less. I'm going to ask our aircraft to descend here. Going to turn on our landing lights. I'm going to actually ask for a steeper rate of descent here. Let's see what we can do while we bleed speed and descend. Okay, landing lights are on. Perfect. We still haven't switched the barometric pressure from standard to the local pressure. We'll do that in a bit. So there we go. Our airport is right about there, somewhere 25 nautical miles as a crow flies towards us. Obviously, we're about 30-35 nautical miles away from making our touchdown. Not much left to go here. So let's see, I haven't flown the approach into Gibraltar in a while. Now I have flown it before, quite frankly, but I haven't flown it in a while, so it's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting to say the least. Okay, I'll get Sky Dolly running for us as we come in to land into Gibraltar, something that I should not forget to do. But for now, yeah, we're looking quite well here. Let's look outside. Look at that. Gibraltar is right about there. I know for a fact that Gibraltar is here. Okay, that's where Gibraltar should be. Yep, it should be right about there. It should be right about there or here. It's either here or it's here. I can't tell exactly. We'll find out. Okay. So we're heading down now. Oh, there's an aircraft right there. Wonder where it's heading. There's not enough separation between us. I don't think there is. Okay. That appears to be a 737 if I'm not grossly mistaken. Okay, we seem to be dipping under him. TA only. Where is our traffic advisory? Or did that just pop up? Okay. What shall I do now? Excellent. We need to now go down towards 7,000 feet, and let's do that quite steeply here as well. We're probably not going to make it now. Okay, from here on out, we're pretty much on our own. Believe it or not, we're pretty much on our own. Okay, so we need to head down towards, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to head down towards 5,000. I'm going to engage a managed descent here. Let's see where that takes us. Let's see where that takes us. 5,000 by the time we're here. No, that's too little. Let's go down a little more steep. Okay. Brilliant. Brilliant. I can't really tell yet where exactly Gibraltar is, but by the looks of it, I think it's here. Yeah, I might have been wrong about here. I think it's somewhere around here. Let's find out. Let us find out. 5,000 feet coming up. I think we're a little too early for 5,000 feet. May ask for a more managed descent here. We don't have much time here to get our landing checklist completed, so I'm going to go ahead and do that here by requesting a medium auto brake, ground spoilers armed, and our flaps can begin to oh, sorry, I did not see that. Should have double checked the speeds. Anyway, we're descending down, we're slowing down towards 243 knots, so we should be okay. Let's find out. Okay, no, my bad. We need to wait a little bit more for the flaps. Okay, we have one more nautical mile, 17 nautical mile towards and we're still going to be at 250. Damn, that's fast. That is fast. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and ask you to reduce our speed down towards 238. Yeah, I wanted to reduce speed to 238, and then let's continue reducing altitude here. This is quite nerve-wracking, this thing. This is not an easy landing. I've realized how ridiculous it was of me to try and land this with an A330 200. Oh, we've reached 5,000 feet. Let's switch. Let me switch. Okay. Before we switch, let me go down towards 4,900 maybe. Let's switch the altitude to the local pressure. 1019 right there. Do the same here as well. 1019, perfect. Perfect. Okay, how are we looking now? We are 30 nautical miles or so away, apparently. Now, we're not going to have any ILS available. Do we have ILS? No, we don't. We do not have ILS. All right, as we continue on our journey here, we're coming towards a point where, oh, that is not looking very good here. Let's 10 nautical miles. Let me go down to 1,000 feet. Let me ask you to go down to 1,000 feet in managed mode. Okay, there we go. Let's head down here. There is no ILS available for today. If we look at, there is no ILS here. It is all visual for us here today. We'll reach 1,000 feet by there, which is a little too low, but let's find out. Gibraltar, here we go. Goodness me, this is a little more nerve-wracking than I thought it was going to be, because I now have, it's coming back to me. The last time I attempted to land at Gibraltar with the A320, yes, it was a success, but it was not easy, and that was an A320. Here I am trying this thing with A330-200. I don't know, and I'm at 3,000 feet here. Oh, goodness me, this is a tight one. This is a tight one. Ground spoilers armed, everything checked. Let's see. Have we reduced our speed? I want our speed to be reduced. Okay, I'm gonna ask for flaps 1. I'm gonna ask for a reduction in speed here. Down to 230. Okay. So reduction in speed there. Perfect. As a matter of fact, I'm going down to speed 220 here. Because I need to have a hope of landing this thing. So I'm going to go down to 220 knots. Our landing speed is 127. Approach at 132 is what we're given. That's going to be rough to make with our current. We're not even descending at the moment. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take manual control here. I have to. We don't need this. We're gonna go back to nav. Taking manual control. Autopilot off. Okay. Great. Let's just take manual control here. Let's drop our speed straight down to 145. Going for 145, and I believe I can see Gibraltar somewhere there. So it's going to be pretty rough here. Let's see how we can do it. Dropping our flaps to position 2. Can you see it? Oh my god, there it is. That's going to be rough. That is going to be rough. I'm going to use this here to try and guide me in. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. I'm going to start sky dolly, which I have just about now. Okay. 145 knots, attempting to reach it. I'm just going to go directly for 132. See how that treats us. We're beginning our turn here. Let's see how we perform on the turn. Let's see how we perform on that turn there. We're going to ask for flaps to come down. We're going to ask for the gear to come down. Okay. There we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. I see the runway. I see the runway. Okay, that is not good, but let's see what we can do here. That's not good. We need to bleed the speed off. Come on, we need to get rid of the speed. Okay, let me just deploy the ground spoilers pretty much, right? What other option do I have but to deploy the ground spoilers? I'm going to deploy them. Okay, gear down. Not gear down, sorry, flaps down. Let's continue doing that. Continue doing that. Speed brake is still out. I know. We're going to land with the speed brake out at this point. Yeah, we have to. I don't think we have a choice. We kind of have to. We kind of have to. If we don't, we're going to have an issue. Okay, so we're going to land with the speed brakes out here. Okay. Landing with speed brakes out into Gibraltar. Okay, coming in a little lower than we should. Okay. Let's just see that. Okay. We are down. We are down. Reverse. There we go. There we go. Brilliant. And let's release that. Perfect. Let's put that. Excellent. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gibraltar. We barely even have enough room to turn our aircraft. Come on, turn. Aren't you not gonna turn? Come on. Don't tell me we're having the same issue as before, where we can't turn the aircraft. Okay, there we go. Before we clean up or anything like that, let's go ahead and take a look at our landing replay. Right? And we need to find ourselves into a little gate here somehow. So, okay, here we are trying desperately to turn our aircraft around. Open up the throttles just a little bit more. Help us with that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gibraltar. Welcome to Gibraltar. Okay. Let's turn around here and we shall put on our parking brakes for a second. We'll take a look at our landing replays and then we shall continue on and see how we do with parking. Okay, there we go. Let's park this thing right here. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our landing replays before we go any further with our taxiing. There we go with our landing replay into Gibraltar. Our first look at how we landed this thing into Gibraltar. Now, I didn't wear my headphones for this recording, which was my mistake, so I couldn't hear the call-outs. So I have a feeling that the touchdown was a little too rough because of that, I don't know. No excuses, let's see how it went. There we go. Let us see how we performed here in this particular landing. Alright. Doesn't look too bad as of now. You can see some lovely ships and the like. Let us see. Let us see. GA ships. Anyway. Here we go, coming into land. Let's check out how we did here. Okay, this approach is so far not looking too terrible, to be honest. It's a little wobbly, but just a little bit. Okay. Alright. Oh, that was a bit of too much. Okay. Alright. Not too bad. That isn't too bad of a landing into Gibraltar. Okay. Let's have a look at a few more replays just to see how exactly we performed. So let's have a few more replays of the landing. Let's take a look at this view and then we'll go ahead and jump into the cabin and have a look at the cabin views as well. There's a beautiful boat there off to our right with the sails and everything. That looks really nice. Wow, Gibraltar could look really good if it wasn't for terrible texture loading from MSFS 2024. Okay, hopefully Sim Update 3 fixes that. Let's find out. But let's focus on the landing here. Let's see. Okay, coming in, okay, and all right. Okay, that is not too bad at all. That is not too bad at all. Very, very nice landing. Very good, very good. All right, let's now go ahead and take a look at our landing from, let's try the cabin view. There we go. Let's check this out from the left side of the cabin. Let us check it out. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. There is Gibraltar. Very, very nice. Brilliant. Why don't we go ahead and see the landing from the other side as well. All right. Our final landing replay, most likely. Let's have a look at that. Plenty of boats. Okay. Beautiful ship right there. All right, let's see. Okay. Very nice. Now there's an interesting view. Everything is so close to your aircraft. That's a strange view as you land in. Very, very nice. Brilliant. Those buildings haven't loaded properly, but the rock behind it looks really good, I suppose. Anyway, let's now go ahead and taxi in our aircraft. At least we'll park it in now. Okay, let's taxi down the runway here. We have a choice here of which way to go. You know what? I'm just gonna turn to our right somehow. I don't even know if we can fit in there, but let's find out. Okay, we'll clean up our flaps while we try to get ourselves in there. Let's clean up our flaps here. Very nice. Don't have a rudder pedal, so I'm gonna have to keep my hands on the controls here to turn us. Oh, a little bit of a bumpy taxiway there. Oh my god. I remember once I landed into Orlando and the landing was just fine, but I crashed because the taxiway was bumpy. I mean, the runway had a glitch on it. I was not happy about that. Okay, switch off that strobe light, switch off that. We'll just leave it on taxi mode there. Oops. Let's bring that back on in line with that. And I'll bring our speed brake down here completely to off, retracted, whatever you want to call it. Okay, there we go. Cleaned up aircraft, barely big enough to taxi in Gibraltar. I don't even think we have a parking that can fit us. Although there is one right here. I'm gonna turn here. Okay. I'm going to turn to my right about here. Okay, there we go. Just gonna turn in there. Perfect. Oh, a little too early on that turn there. But nonetheless, let's put our parking brakes on there. Not the worst parking in the world, but we could go a little bit forward, right? So let's creep up a little bit here. So we creep up a little bit there, and we've got parking. Perfect. Okay, let's get our APU running for the time being. Yeah, let's get our APU running. We didn't do that. We didn't have the time, quite frankly, to do that. And we can look at that. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Gibraltar. While we wait for our APU to start up, we can take a quick look at Gibraltar. Is it modeled? No, it's not modeled at all. It is a handcrafted airport in Microsoft Flight Simulator in 2024. I think in 2020 as well, because I have flown here before. But as you can tell, it's not exactly modeled inside. It's just the building that's more or less modeled. And there is the road that crosses the runway that I was speaking about earlier. Okay, there you go. Just like that. So if there's a plane landing, they have to shut down the traffic. So yeah, like a railway crossing, but instead it's a runway crossing. All right, let's head on inside. We've got APU available now, I believe. I hope so. Let's turn on the APU bleed as well. Is APU available? Let's make sure it is. No, it's not. Okay, let's just wait for APU generators to be available. And then we can go ahead and... yeah, let's just wait for the APU generators to be available. Okay, there it is coming to life. We should have the available sign right about now. There we go. We can turn that off. Now we can shut down our engines pretty much. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's go outside. There we go. We've shut down our engines, and as such, we can now set some chokes if it will even let us. I don't think it will. Okay, let's now go ahead, request our deboarding and etc. Let's request deboarding. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Deboarding has begun. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you really enjoyed that flight here. Let's just, you know what, before I wrap up this video, let's have a good look at the deboarding. And there's an EasyJet right there, which is very nice. I didn't remark about that. But before I wind up this video here, let's just get deboarding started up pretty much, shall we? There we go. We've got our passenger bus ready. We are running on APU is actually running at the moment, but we've also got GPU attached. Passengers are deboarding, as you can tell. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gibraltar. I hope you enjoyed today's flight. If you did, please do leave a like. Consider subscribing to the channel. It helps out a lot, and it also keeps me motivated to continue posting these videos. Right? Okay, so with that, pretty much, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.